what do I think about the movement going on in Tibet and whether they will have their independence? The condition for having independence, okay, is that you must be able to win the support and sympathy of the majority. South Africa, how do you explain the 6 million people who suppressed 22 million? And you remember now, it was 1994 by the time South Africa got freed up. All those other countries, you know, back in the 60s, you know, Congo and all those other places, etc. Guess what it was? The Olympics. That's all it was. The Olympics. They wouldn't let the South Africans participate in the Olympics. In other words, the rest of the world rejected them. Okay? So my point is, Tibet, in order for it to get its independence, you have to be able to get the majority of the people in the world to say, you, okay, deserve your independence and we're going to support you. And the other majority I'm talking about is the majority of the Chinese. Now, how do you do that? Okay? I'm on camera, so I'll take it. What you have to do is have a very aggressive educational campaign. Because in the first place, folks don't even know what you're talking about when you talk about Tibet. They might think you're talking about gambling or something. Okay? Our movement would not have succeeded unless we had the media constantly in the face of folk interpreting what was going on. The tragedies and the atrocities. We could have done this in the 60s if we hadn't had television. Because there'd be no way for anybody to appreciate the emotional impact by reading the newspaper. That's the follow-up, okay? Because you see it on the TV in a flash, but you can go and keep the newspaper and read it. So that drives folks to read the newspaper when they see it on TV. You get my point? They get the picture. But they gotta feel it first. You gotta feel it. So my point is, you need an aggressive, assertive, educational campaign so people can understand the conditions in Tibet. All right? Once you do that, then you have to have a strategy. Because understanding the problem is one thing, but what do you do about it is another. In our movement, we had to make sure that people understood that they were welcome to come and participate in the movement. There ought to be, in addition to educating people about the problem, you need to also help them understand how they can lend their support. Martin Luther King used to use multi-syllable words, okay? And people used to just shout and carry on. They didn't know exactly what he said, but it sounded so good. They said, did you hear him speak? He could speak. What did he say? Well, he said, freedom. Heard that part. It sounds so good. Okay? When he talked about power, and I'm talking about when Martin Luther King used to take us down to Frogmore, South Carolina, and go to the blackboard, all right, and teach us. I was taught by Martin Luther King as well. That was before they didn't have whiteboards. They had blackboards, you know. And you know what he said? Power. His definition of power was very simple. He said, power is the ability to either withdraw or supply needed resources.